Start again.
Lieutenant Mary Longacre here.
Dave Shampoo here. Whitboard here. Emily, are you on?
Yes, Emily Molden, can you hear me?
Again. All right, so we have a quorum. We have, has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda for today? Yes. This is just my copy.
Yeah.
It's not much there, but- Okay, and all right, so do we have a motion on the agenda, acceptance of the agenda?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all right.
Aye.
All right, I assume there's no minutes, right, Charlie?
Soon.
So,
We'll have
okay,
minutes.
cool. All right, next time. All right, I just want to make one announcement. Our illustrious tree arborist extraordinaire got a very prestigious award from the Garden Club today, the Maycomber Environmental Award. Well-deserved deal.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Giving it my all.
Yep.
I'm giving it my all.
So appreciate everything you do. All right, let's move on.
So one other item of business, just quickly.
Oh, yep.
For hopefully everybody can be here again for next week. Hopefully Ben will be here. We need to reappoint officers
Okay,
for the committee, but we'll need to do it as a whole committee. So hopefully Ben can be here next week and then we'll
next week.
or next meeting, next month.
week. Next
We'll
month.
put it on as an agenda item
Okay.
to vote officers.
Okay. All right.
How many openings?
Well, it'd be basically the chair and vice chair.
Okay.
I don't know if we have a vice chair. Do we have a vice chair?
The alpha, technically, it was
Yeah.
it's what I got from Erica. It was
Yeah.
chair, vice chair, secretary, possibly treasurer, the other. That's the
No
list.
treasurer.
No treasurer.
Yeah.
I don't think we have another secretary either, so.
Yeah.
Certain.
You're his chair.
You're a rock.
And Mary's our de facto vice chair.
So we can make, a motion will be made and we can make it for the official vice chair for next meeting.
There was no application for GC or?
No, I don't think anybody did.
Okay, so let's move to the first item on the agenda, 8 Back Street. 18 Back Street, I'm sorry. I said it right here. Madeline Castor is here to speak in favor of that, what she wants to do, and we're here to discuss it. So,
So I also just reminder, this is not an actual hearing. We'll make no official decision today about the trade. In order to do so, we have to post for 2 weeks. We can put on a future agenda. So I'm sure when this should be an open conversation about it with no decisions.
yeah,
made.
basically, I think I framed this, it would be just a discussion today.
Right.
If we're not, you've got to make a request to me, a formal request for a hearing. And then I run the hearing, and we have usually at our regularly scheduled tree meeting.
That I'm not at.
No, you're invited to come. It'll be some-
Yeah,
we have to post it.
You can come.
You can attend in person, you can attend via
It's a
Zoom.
public meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any member of the public.
But we have to post it. Like it gets posted in the newspaper. If so requested, the tree itself will get flagged so the public can come by, view the tree itself, and then we need to give the public 2 weeks notice for that meeting. Usually then the meeting usually starts, public hearing, a half hour earlier than our, so we normally start at 3. We try to schedule hearings at 2:30. We then have the hearing and then proceed with our normal meeting afterwards.
That's how that works.
And after the hearing, how does it work? People
If,
vote?
okay,
like-
if there's an objection, and I can tell you that there will be, because we've been talking about this for forever. So let's just start there. Then it goes to the select, and they're the ones that make the determination. So you might want to have representation for that, or whatever. I'm just, that's how it works. And they're the ones, they have the final say.
So,
We're advisory to them.
so if the committee votes not in favor of removal, then you would appeal, and you write a letter asking for an appeal to select board, and then we get that on our agenda at some point.
Okay, so Madeline, why don't you plead your case? Why don't you start, and then we can, I assume everybody's got a copy of Madeline's letter. So, anyway,
I have pictures I can pull up and share if you would like.
okay, good.
Remember how to do it. Okay.
So when we built the house, the tree was not leaning like that. The tree is literally 2 feet leaning over my roof. In addition to that, I've spent $18,000 on a new roof in order to keep my insurance. In addition to that, I lost my insurance last year and had to get new insurance this year, and they're gonna look at it again in the spring. In addition to that, I am very worried, obviously, about how it leans and that it is gonna fall on the house. I've had three arborists come by, and they've all said they're very happy that that tree is not in their yard, and that they do worry about it. It seems to lean more every year, and it also now, the roots of it and the bottom of the tree, I have a picture, it's blocking me getting out of my driveway. You see that hedge there? I also have a fence and the neighbor behind us. So it is almost, you have to go back some. It is almost, I have a picture on my phone, impossible to now get out of the driveway. The only new thing that I can add to this is that the next door neighbor, that house, the one that, yeah, it's impossible. Like I have to do a 12-point turn to get out of there. And the next door neighbors who had there was someone there that was elderly and not well and wasn't there very much, and she sold her house, and a new young family moved in, and the guy's a lawyer, and he said that the house is going over, the tree is not, it's over their house too, and it looked like it was leaning, and he talked to the real estate agent about it. The real estate agent said, oh, don't worry, the town's very reasonable, they'll do something about that. And he reminded me that he is a lawyer, and if the tree falls on his house, which it could, then I am responsible as the homeowner for paying for that damage. So that's, I mean, it's, except for the fact that I have new neighbors that are now, I don't want to use the word threatening, he wasn't nasty, but he wasn't really nice. And it seems to lean more and more towards the house every year, and it is so hard to get out of my driveway. I could lose my insurance again, I had to get new insurance. And it's all because of the tree, and the roof again is horrible, because it is right over my roof. And so I am gonna have to deal with the roof again, and at some point, I'm gonna run out of money for this. I mean, I am someone that rents my house to keep it. And between the insurance and the roof, at some point, I'm not gonna be able to keep the house. It's just, that's where I'm gonna be, because of the tree.
Now, how long have you owned the house?
We built it, we got the occupancy certificate in 2007.
Okay, that's right, that's, so 18 years.
Yeah,
right?
about 18 years. And when we built the house, the tree was not leaning like that.
Well, I remember, and this goes back probably at least maybe 15 years ago. The tree was leaning then, and there was a landscaper there, attempting to remove the trees, I recall. I know it, I recall it very well. And I said to the guy, it was Rich Starr. Rich, is Rich Starr, right? Rich is, that's his name.
Richard?
Yeah, Richard Starr. And I told him, I'm pretty sure it's a town tree. And you better cease operations here. So that was probably 15 years ago.
Mhm.
And he worked for Eric Sherm. Is that, so I.
No, I don't know any of those
Anyway,
people.
I used to live at 96 Orange Street a long time ago. And it's as far as I remember, that tree. Dale, I mean, the tree's been leaning for probably ever since you've been here.
Yeah, ever since I've been here.
I don't think it went over in Hurricane Bob either. I think it's been that way for forever. You know, it's
Leaning way more, now it's
I think it's
blocking my
growing.
driveway.
It might seem that way, but I think the fact is it's growing and it seems like it's leaning more. But I don't see if it was leaning more, you get a lot of upheaval from that root system. That root system's huge on that tree.
Mhm.
Absolutely huge. That's one tree I don't go to sleep at night worrying about that it's gonna fall over.
No, I did.
Well, I think Dale made it quite safe, about 5 years ago by cutting
Yeah.
that,
took a major.
I took
taking that major lead out.
I was dealing with the lawyer from Glidden's, what's his name? Glidden's partner.
Bretcher,
Bretcher,
yes.
yes, I dealt with Bretcher.
Is that your lawyer?
Well, I never
Okay.
hired anyone.
Okay,
I talked to
okay,
someone that, from across the street that knew.
But
someone.
Bretcher is the one that I dealt with, and the way he presented himself is that he was your lawyer.
Okay,
to
I
me.
never paid anyone.
So, no, I mean, I'm not questioning, I'm saying, so that's what I got in there, and we took that, that's about 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago with it, and then Scott took,
Yeah.
some way out of it, 3 years
I
ago.
mean, that
Right over the driveway, the one I took over.
that was a dangerous situation for sure. And I think we remedied it as best it could be done without removing the tree. I mean, it's like any tree on Nantucket. I think we all are of the mind that we don't want to lose any more of our canopy than we've already lost.
Especially elm trees.
Especially elm tree. I mean, it's a Chinese elm, but I mean, it's still a formidable tree. And it's a big tree. I mean, I can understand where you're coming from, but we as a body, an advisory body, I think are the same mind about this because we've talked about it before. But I think, why doesn't everybody else chime in on this?
So I went by this morning and I'm not sure what you mean when you say your roof is horrible, but your asphalt shingle roof looks lovely to me. I didn't see any damage. I didn't see any accumulation. I looked at the tree. The tree looks healthy and strong to me. I wouldn't characterize the tree as leaning. Definitely the trunk is not straight, but I think it just has a trunk that is not straight. I didn't see that it was leaning or moving in any particular direction. I didn't see the root upheaval that Dave mentioned. It looks like a stable, healthy tree. And I don't see that it's causing any damage to the house.
Emily, you have a comment?
Thank you. I had a question actually, and maybe this will come back up again if there's a hearing at a later date, but I just wanted to, for clarification, confirm if the tree, if either a branch or a part of the tree does come down at some point and do damage, is the property owner solely responsible for that as a town tree? Do we know the answer to that from an insurance perspective or liability perspective?
That, I think that's a town council thing, and, that will be, I think that's something that would be sorted out at the hearing. I don't think, the town's not gonna send the town council to a tree advisory committee meeting.
No, of course not. I just wasn't sure if,
But they have advised, I know town council's advised on several issues like that one behind the old Seven Seas gift shop. As to what's a town tree and what isn't. And so.
I can make an inquiry, for
Yeah.
town council, have an answer if we're gonna have an
Yeah,
official hearing.
yeah, we can find out. We can
I
find
mean,
out.
if I can't if I can't cut the tree, you guys are the only ones that can cut the tree and it falls on my house, how could it be my
Right,
responsibility?
well,
I mean, I could very well be uninsured in September, in
Yeah.
the spring again.
Yeah.
And on top of that, with all due respect, I don't know how close you got to the house, but my insurance company took pictures and showed me that there's a lot of moss on the roof again, and they wanted me to have it cleaned off.
So we would appreciate having those same pictures and
Okay.
the letter from the insurance company. So we
Okay,
can
I'm happy
understand
to
what they're
send you,
concerned
yep, no problem.
I mean, moss grows, tree or no tree, moss grows up.
I understand, but it's the only place that there's moss.
Right. Yeah.
There's no other place.
Yeah.
Except for where it's hanging over my house.
Well, I'm a caretaker and I do a lot of maintenance work and, you could put copper strips on the top course of the roof. But I didn't agree with Mary. I didn't see any growth. The roof looks great.
I had the roof repaired 2 years ago from the tree.
Yeah, but,
That whole front
you
part
know,
of the house.
periodically, you can get a gentle power wash. They can treat whatever's on there. I mean, roof growth is not uncommon, especially when trees are involved. It happens all over the island, all over the mainland.
Especially on the northwest corner, that would be the shady corner of the house.
Which would be in the shade anyway. And that, by the way, here's a little item of interest. That's lichen that's growing on, that's an indicator of how clean our air is. So, because it doesn't grow in polluted air.
The other thing, birds like to sit on the gable ends there, and the debris they leave is full of nutrients, so you usually get a lot of growth on the gable end, the edge of the roof there, anyway.
Right.
So,
that's-
it's a matter of maintenance.
Yeah.
If that is an issue. I was worried maybe you have wood gutters. I didn't see gutters.
Mm-mm.
That would be an issue. You had, I think, an aluminum gutter on the front, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Well, say, during Hurricane Bob, trees went down, things got damaged, and I don't know what, it's probably an easy thing to find out.
Hurricane Bob was a long time ago.
Yeah, but I mean,
It was like in the
insurance has, but it hasn't changed.
91, I mean.
I'm just talking about when town trees
In
come down
terms of insurance.
in terms of insurance.
In terms of insurance.
And I don't, I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer to that at all. That's a town council thing.
Have you ever thought about
But
backing
Charlie can
in rather than pulling it forward?
Yeah, no, we do sometimes, but that's also hard because of where the tree is. I have a fence in front, I have a shrub on the side, and I have this tree that, we knock into. I mean, it's impossible to
Is
get
your
out of that
neighbor's
driveway.
hedge been trimmed? Is it where
Yeah,
it's supposed to be?
Yep, it is. We checked into that 100%.
Well, the tree was like that when you bought the house.
So I built it, and I promise you,
Yeah.
it was not leaning like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because I wouldn't have ever built the house there.
I always remember that tree leaning.
I can promise you,
Yeah.
I've been there for 18 years.
Yeah.
It has never leaned like this towards my house.
I remember when that house was built and, I ride my bike because I live near Five Corners and I'm out in those neighborhoods all the time. And I was actually surprised that house was allowed to be built so close to the tree, to be honest with you.
There you go. I wasn't the builder. I
Yeah,
went to jail, so we had to finish it with someone else.
Off to a good start.
Yep.
And I understand where you're coming from with losing insurance, that I didn't lose my insurance, but I had instructions from my insurance company that I needed to do certain things in order to qualify for the insurance, so I get that scenario. But it's home maintenance, that's all it is. It's, trees come with leaves that fall, you're not asking us to rake your leaves in the fall.
No,
mean,
but
that-
they're talking about the way the tree's leaning. They're very worried.
Well,
It's
that's what
gonna
we'd like
fall
to
on
see
the
from the
house.
insurance company.
Okay.
Scotty, you got anything to say?
I do. So, my name is Jordan. I work with the tree department. I have been doing tree work for 7 years now. And one thing that I have noticed with the tree is, yes, it is, the trunk of the tree is leaning. And where you would see if it's leaning more so in the most recent couple of years, you would see the actual street start to lift up from the root plate. And another indicator is if the branches that are growing up, if they would be leaning with the trunk as well, where they're not as much leaning towards the house as they are trying to grow back up over, which is an indicator to me that it is a solid root plate. And yes, it does go over the roof, but there's at least 15 feet of clearance between any of the branches and your neighbor's roof or your.
When you say clearance, you mean like,
So like the branch would be up here and then there would be at least 15 feet here. Now there are some sprouts along the trunk around the front of your house that we can, it's annual maintenance for the tree. Now, there's only a certain time of the year that we can prune out trees. And that's from November until April. And that's not us, that's the state of Massachusetts law. So with the sprouts, we can prune them back to the canopy of the tree. But they also require between 6 and 8 feet of clearance between a tree is typically what I hear of for insurance companies, the state wanting to see between a tree and the house, whether it's a limb, sprouts. So I understand like a leaning tree, before I knew anything about it, I was like, oh wow, that's hazardous. But then once I got like involved in arboriculture and I started learning about it, there's a lot more to it than just, oh, this is hazardous. There's a lot of factors. So that's just my.
It's a very healthy tree. I mean, I think it's a
Again,
strong tree.
like I do think that annual maintenance, biannual maintenance to the tree is helpful.
well, who does, how does that?
We do that. So as the tree crew, we come in and we'll do, a certain amount of pruning every year. We can't just come and cut a bunch of stuff off because there is a rule of thumb that you can't take more than a third of the canopy at a time on smaller trees. On larger mature trees, it drops down between 15 and 20%. 10%. So the amount of threshold that we can have is limited to a multi-year project. So like we can just come in and cut a bunch of stuff off in year one. It might have to be a 5-year project or a 7-year project.
But we've already done
Right. We've
over the last 5 years.
Just
several
taking,
trees.
that huge leader role.
Right.
It's probably,
Agreed.
that wasn't such a great thing for the tree.
Agreed.
But I think it needed to be done and that's good that it got done. So,
We should get that cleaned up in November though.
Yeah.
The suckers, we call them
Yeah,
suckers,
yeah.
small
Mhm.
branches.
water sprouts.
Oh,
Good, thanks. All right, I mean, I think you got a sense of where we're coming from, and you get a sense where you're coming from, and I really suggest that, you proceed with the hearing and we'll go from there. I think that's the only way this is gonna get resolved, because we're not gonna resolve it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming.
Have a good day.
You as well.
Take care now.
All right. Update on 43 Union. Anything
I haven't seen
shaking?
anything. I don't know, Gary, I haven't seen anything.
doesn't look like the tarps on the garage down there and, so far, but you know, it's getting to be almost September and I'm sure he'll be rearing his ugly head again. There had been any communication with, the building department or anything, if you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Nothing. All right,
Can I just ask a question about that? Dave, did you
Yeah.
end up submitting that letter to the building department that we drafted?
I did, yep, that was
Great.
Charlie, I think, yeah, Charlie sent it along, so,
Great. Okay, thank
but you
you.
never got any feedback from them?
No.
Okay, well, we should follow up on that to make sure, because, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if something's thrown in there that we don't know about, the way that guy operates. All right, this is for Scotty, because apparently Scotty's taken over the 41 Westchester Street, Silver Linden.
Why not?
So what's going on?
Is that up again?
Well, didn't she, there seems to be, was there something recently, Charlie, about that? Wasn't she making some noise?
Maybe if she
about-
got a smell of that tree, she would want to leave it.
Yeah, there was, I think it was a few meetings back, I think she requested, you know, you looked at it again, I think it was just more suckers that were growing at the bottom.
We need to get over tomorrow to weed back them suckers in again.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, keep her happy.
Did we ever,
As long as we keep them down.
pull the fabric?
We put old fabric.
Yeah, we put old.
We put old fabric.
Yeah.
That was the time I found that one snake. She wasn't lying about that.
I think that's all it was, like, the only one I seen come in was possible branch,
Snake.
but, or the stop sign maybe.
Yeah,
No,
no,
that's-
Scott and I handled
That's
that.
gone, that's gone. I had to go over there to tackle it. That's gone.
Perfect.
Anyway, I was talking to Dale at the garden club meeting today about silver lindens, and we've got to plant more.
You got plant over. It just, if
Great plant.
anybody ever got the smell of the flowers on a silver, privet smell amazing, but this is even better.
Yeah, it smells very much like
Yeah,
privet,
nice.
except it's sweeter.
Yeah.
Well, they're called lime trees, so I mean, that's,
Yeah.
so it's a lime scent. It's great.
That's why honeybees love them so much.
Like an orange blossom.
Yeah, oh, the honeybee, you would not believe.
Honeybees.
And mine.
Yes.
I mean, it was like this, it was like a hive on the
Yes,
whole thing.
honeybees
So
love
many
them.
honey.
Yeah,
honeybees
lemons,
on it.
the honey's, the
In
honeybees.
fact, they're the ones that produce that 500 gallons of.
Yeah, probably.
of honey. I told Dale when he retires, he's gonna start a company called Bees and Trees.
Out on a limb, honey.
Anyway, okay. All right, let's move on to new business. So Emerald Ash Borer,
Oh, great, I had that as one of my talking points.
what are we gonna do? Let's,
I think what we should do, we should select the best ash trees we got in
Yep.
Wisconsin. Trees that eventually gonna come down, like that one with that big rotted pocket in it. I don't care about saving. I don't
Right.
want to spend
No,
money.
no,
It's
those
gonna
are-
come down in the storm.
Is that the big one on the circle?
No, that
No,
was
no.
the one on the corner of the tennis court of, New Street and
Parker.
By the
Park
casino there?
That is beautiful. That is
Yeah.
healthy. I would like to see that one protected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple in the front of the casino, like, there's a couple of them we can let go with. And I can tell you, it's gonna be one or two trees they will replace with.
and the ones in front of the chapel aren't great either.
Yeah.
You know, they're not worth, that'd be nice to replace.
I
A
would-
green vase Zelkover or the right elm tree.
Now, yeah, oh, now speaking of elms, I was going back to my shop by way of the boulevard and all those elms, you know, we should harvest every other one of those elms.
Yeah, we should.
You know, those are really doing well.
They finally caught. I mean, I have to give thanks
Because
to.
there's no reason there should be that many elms.
That's that one stretch in
Yeah,
the middle of nowhere.
I would
Yeah.
honestly, like, my opinion, I would like to see every other tree excavated, like with an air spade.
Yep.
And put out farther down, so I
Yeah.
think they're like 40 feet apart right now.
40 feet.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them like 80 feet
Yeah,
apart.
they should be.
And then just stretch them farther down
Yeah.
Surfside.
Then
you
we
know.
find that'd be an easy transplant.
Yeah.
You could do that bare root, obviously, if you air spade them out,
Mhm.
you're gonna, that's actually the best way to do it. You just have this huge root mass and you don't have to dig very deep.
They finally started to look good.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, they look great.
They finally
Are
started.
they getting water this summer?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Twice,
They're going through
twice a week.
1,200 gallons of water a day.
No wonder we have a water problem. you know?
But that's the sacrifice.
You know, I think at this point we have 40
It's like
plus or minus 5 trees that we're watering every time we go out.
Yep.
And it is an all-day affair.
Because this summer has been terrible.
It's been ridiculous. I mean, we planted some trees that were doing okay, and then we had that really hot spell in
Yeah.
July, and it just
everything gets.
just absolutely cooked them. You
Have
know,
been a hard year on trees.
Visitor Services is doing okay. I was down there last night. It's hanging in there.
oh yeah, the horse chestnut.
Now, okay, now let's circle back to the ash.
Yes.
Dale, we talked about that those people have got that award on Hussey Street.
Yes.
Is that a town tree?
That's the town tree.
Okay, good. Because
That's the town tree.
that is an app,
That's-
that's
that's-
probably the nicest one.
That's on the pruned list.
Mhm.
Then that's gonna be on the injection list.
Yeah, good.
And I got the emails from what Jim sent me of how they're gonna give us a better deal than they give,
Sure.
you know.
Okay, so Bartlett's gonna do
Well,
it.
it's gonna give, I gotta submit it to people within
Okay,
this.
so, all right, good. I think we definitely wanna protect the ones that need to be protected. I think
And are we seeing much evidence of the border?
That was my next question. Trapping, are we trapping?
I don't know where to get ash board straps from, but I don't only,
There was one in the ash trees.
years ago, I put them in scotches.
Right, but you got.
Yeah, I got them through, I think, Emily.
Yeah, we did that with you.
Yes, yeah, I did that with Emily.
Mhm.
years
And
ago.
and it was, I'm pretty sure it was through Mass Department of Ag as well that we got the traps,
Maybe
and
we
we
should
never
reach out.
had any positive results from those.
We did capture, did we ever
No.
capture anything? There
No.
was never anything in there.
There's
Well,
bugs, but not
it would
that.
be interesting to find out if, I'm sure the Emerald ash borer came here and fired. No question in my mind. Well, I mean, to me, there's no other way that it could have come. What do you think?
I mean, a small possibility here is it could have came in on nursery stock. You know,
That's true
I-
too. But,
when I was
yeah,
when I was at Bartlett, you know, we saw scale coming in on trees that don't get scale.
yeah,
You know,
but
we saw-
they haven't, ash trees are on the no grow list.
Right. You know,
And
I'm
they've
just-
been that way for God, 20 years anyway.
right.
So in that 20,
I agree.
nobody has been shipping ash trees here.
Right.
The ash trees.
The problem is,
here-
we don't kiln firewood, we just cut it and let it dry.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't kiln firewood, it should be kilned.
No, I agree with you. I think it was most likely
Yeah,
firewood.
It had to be, because there was so many ash trees coming down in particularly in Western Mass,
Mhm.
around Worcester.
Yeah, it was
That was decimated.
wildfires. So, I mean, so to answer your question, where we've seen it or how much, it's really been
Just that one.
just
tree.
that one
Yeah.
tree on Liberty Lane.
Yeah.
We
We
looked
look
at-
the next time you buy there, see if there's a fireplace in that house.
I mean, yeah, no, that's, I think they do have a chimney there, but I don't know if it's a
Yeah,
fireplace.
right.
But, we really are looking for ash trees with decline towards the top. And you'll usually see, it's pretty rapid. You know, sometimes like that tree, it pushed out some leaves, but not a lot, this spring. And then by the time July came, it was 50% of the canopy had been.
When we took that lead off, I knew that tree was cooked. I
Mhm.
saw the way the bud looked. I knew it was cooked.
Yeah.
And Jim was like, no, give it time. I said, dude, this tree is cooked.
Mhm.
I didn't think of Emerald ash borer because we never had.
Sure.
So I didn't, that was my last call for me to say that was done by Emerald ash borer. But I knew for some reason that tree was cooked. And it's cooked.
Is it the borers themselves that do damage, or is it
Yeah,
just?
they get into the camera.
Yeah.
And
So like,
they literally suck the life out of the tree.
yeah,
Unlike other bugs or borers, I should say, you know, like Dutch elm disease, it's just a fungus that the borer carries. The borer doesn't do the damage, but in this case of an emerald ash borer, the borer itself does the damage.
it's like turpentine fever.
Yes, exactly.
Physical damage.
Yeah.
The physical damage is
And
a
now
lot.
that's another thing we gotta get people to cut the right time of year. It's just they keep adding to the problem.
Yeah.
You coming down Mattocket Road with a line of turpentine behind you, you're gonna invite turpentine beetle.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be cutting pine.
Yes, until your first frost, at least your
Yeah,
first
right,
frost.
right. Until it, you know.
But do we need like an education campaign to this?
I just the problem I'm finding that when it comes to money, I'm willing to shut the rules down.
Yeah.
That's why I draw the line. Like I've gotten phone calls about pipes, and I'm listen, you can get somebody else to do it now, and I know what's gonna happen, or you can wait to the right time and I can come out and do it for you. There's a time to do it, another time not to. So let's try to keep it.
Yeah.
You know, so people that call me, I try to educate them on right and wrong of things. You know, I had somebody on the top of a tree. Call somebody else. I don't put my hand in that kind of work.
Well, I mean, just not to jump ahead, but Atlantic Avenue, I was like, who took that work without the proper permits being in place?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what frustrates me.
That was the next thing on the agenda.
So we need to reach out to whoever's signing off and find out what they're doing. My concern with that tree there is over there.
Yeah, they got the tree, yeah, they got the place removed, but,
I haven't seen any plans pop up anywhere for,
all right,
I think the house is just condemned, so it's removal. I haven't seen any plans come forward.
Yeah, but we need to start planning of how we gonna, what we're willing to allow them to do in the front of that tree. Because,
We need a safe zone around the tree.
yeah, we gotta come up with a safe zone.
I mean, because the root plates on these elms are much bigger than any of us stuff.
no, shit.
You know, they're
But the
humongous.
roots are gonna go anywhere they can, especially in town with the asphalt and everything.
Emily, how about the land council? Are you, on that issue on Atlantic?
And-
Oh. You cutting in and out. I didn't catch that.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can hear you now. Yep.
No, we haven't really been involved or engaged on that property.
All right. Well, I think we gotta get some particulars on the,
Was it just the structure in the front, or did they take the structure in the back as well?
Structure in the back is brand new.
just the front.
This is
And that-
actually one
Whoever
story
owned that
building
before was the
that's
one
fallen
that wouldn't allow
Yeah, yeah,
down.
the sidewalk to go.
Yeah,
Go
Lindsay.
past.
I think that's maybe something we should look into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like it's been the same owner since 2023.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a bad thing about to happen. Because I would imagine they're gonna use, I don't know if they can do that now that they've gone ahead and removed it, and
Not a renovation anymore.
it's not a renovation, so they're gonna have to do a setback. What's the setback there, 15 feet?
Which the zoning is that?
Unless they get a bigger.
But the overdig on 15 feet would be, well, we have to, we have,
Do we
there's gonna be obviously some development on the property. So,
Do we send a letter to the planning board? And
I think
say
we
what
have
they're doing by right
We
development,
need
it
to,
won't matter.
like ASAP.
Yeah.
Sorry, what number What number is it again?
12,
12.
it's R1
I'd
zone.
be curious to see how far that would like go.
Yeah. I'm surprised, well, that thing's probably just sitting on nothing.
Hmm.
Was there a crawl space under the?
Nothing, no, it was just
You know what I mean? Like it was
They
just
just-
open to.
They didn't do any excavate,
Right.
right?
They just cleared the lot.
They just cleared the lot.
20 feet on the street.
And they should, to me, I don't think they can build right on the street anyway. Be a war. It's not, is that an old historic there? No.
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, the house was over.
So I think we gotta lobby for, if there is, it is developed for protection for that tree, you know. So let's,
Every foot matters in this case.
if you could, Charlie or Emily, craft a letter again and that we can send to,
In the fall.
And there are only 2 elms on that street,
right.
so to lose one of them.
And they're both really nice,
Yeah.
nice trees too.
Yeah, they're not small either. You know?
Yeah, I think because that may very well be by right development, the building inspector and department's probably the best place because they may not have to go through planning or zoning depending on what they do.
Well, we should send to both.
Yeah. Charlie, just email me if you would like some help working on a letter for that.
Sure, yeah, I've got the one, I was gonna use the template for, that you sent to them for 43 Union Street.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's not just the digging, but it's, all the materials and equipment on the site.
Same old thing. I mean, I think if it does happen, I think we want to see it sheathed to a, so we've got it at least to the drip line anyway.
I mean, with an airspace, we can correct compaction.
Yeah.
But we can't correct torn up roots.
root damage, yeah.
Root damage is what will cause that tree.
Yeah.
Its life in the
Yeah.
long run.
Oh,
Well, and
sure.
there's also the question of, are they gonna put in, a patio or other impervious surface up to the lot line?
Right.
We wanna make sure that it's still a natural surface.
Yeah.
like it was before.
Well, we'll just have to keep an eye on things. Speaking of construction damage, the miracle tree of the year is that catalpa on York Street.
That cat tree got 9 lives.
It's unbelievable. Well, one good thing, if there is a good thing on that project, is the fact that they've got everything irrigated now.
Yeah.
So the thing is benefiting from probably
Yeah.
daily drip irrigation. I mean, the foliage looks great on it. It looks better than some of the catalpas on Prospect Street. So, I mean, I just shake my head when I go by there. It's, and I mean, Kim Glowacki, when he dug that foundation, I mean, it was brutal. I mean, and then when they put in the fight, I thought it was gonna be the final death knell of the thing is when they connected to the utilities in the street. But here it is. Amazing tree. Cat tree, yeah, I like that.
The cat tree, yeah.
Cat.
The cat tree, yes.
Yeah.
The cat tree. They got 9 lives, man.
I thought it only had about 9 leaves on it. but-
Yeah.
All right, so next time, we want, Drew has asked me to, before the next meeting, everybody should take a ride out to Tom Nevers for the, it's the new bike path that they want to put in out there.
So, my spiel. Once you decide to buy a tree and put in town sidewalk, you no longer own that tree. So them trees are town trees.
Yep. Illegal town tree.
They're legal town trees. We just have never maintained them, but they are legal town trees.
But this
We
is,
didn't plant them, but they planted them in town right away.
Yeah.
So they have no say, so they can pay to have them spaded.
Right.
Or we can take them down.
Right.
It's not worth spading, and they just been hacked.
but I think we all should have a look at it because they want us, I think to be legal about the whole thing, we've gotta
So
have sort of.
is the issue that the trees were privately planted on town property and now they want the town to pay?
No,
to get rid of
no,
them?
no,
No, we're trying, the town wants to put the bike path in
Uh-huh.
along Tom Nevers. And where the bike path is proposed to go is right where those trees are planted.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, they're gonna have to have the bike path set back
Yeah.
farther into the property or have the trees removed.
Or have it sitting, or have it sitting against the
What
road.
are people complaining about? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know if somebody's
Removing it.
complaining.
They don't wanna give, I don't think they wanna give up the trees.
Removing the trees removing the trees that are,
So who wants to remove it?
the town does, to
Okay.
make, they've been given the option to move the trees back. And the bike path goes there, or the bike path goes behind the trees, which they definitely don't. So, take a
So
look.
who's they? Sorry, I
Yeah,
have no
yeah,
background on this.
98 Tom Nevers, it's
Okay, so not the
privately
town.
owned, no.
So that the private property owners don't want the bike path further in.
Right.
And the town doesn't want to remove the trees?
No, we want to
No,
remove the
we
trees.
work
so we
for
can
it.
You
do
want
like
to
that.
remove the trees.
Yeah, so then they-
It's very confusing.
So there's two properties in Tom Nevers.
I think it's
One is 98 and one is a little past that,
98.
124 maybe,
Yeah.
something like that. So, I mean, they're pretty obvious if you go down there. They're very purposely planted fruit trees that are unlike anything else in the area.
They're Bradford pears, one of them is
Deeper-
the Bradford pears. and
Kwanzaa
Kwanzaa
and
cherries.
The
Those
preferred
aren't fruit trees.
Yeah.
No,
no,
non,
cherries,
non,
sorry, cherries not.
non-fruiting.
Non-fruit.
It's a flowering.
Whatever. Anyway, non-native species.
Yes.
So the preferred alignment, as voted on by BPAC, MP and EDC, Select Board, is a bike path that has a separate, that's separated from the road. It has the buffer. One option, which was not preferred, is to do what you see in some areas on Matticat Road, where the bike path immediately abuts the road, so the asphalt is contiguous. For safety reasons, obviously, they want some space between the road and the bike path. Where those trees are located is exactly where the bike path would go. The homeowners basically say, push the bike path out so it abuts the road, which is not preferred by anybody. So the trees have to go. The other option we gave them was we could just put the bike path behind the trees, but it'll be on your private property. And they said, that's not acceptable. So unanimously, it was that the bike path is not gonna go immediately next to the road. So the two options are trees go, or the bike path goes on your property, and they don't like either of those. But, you know, I think you were just saying, like, I mean, one option is they can move the trees. You know, Mike Burns asked me, would we want to, and I don't think that it's in our best interest to spend taxpayer dollars to move trees that someone planted where they shouldn't have planted.
Yeah,
I guess we don't have the equipment for that.
And plus, it's under the wires, it's
Yeah.
gonna be almost impossible to do it, because you gotta lift it up, you know, you
Well, if we're
gotta lift
talking
it out of the hole.
Bradford pears and Kwanzaa cherries, those are not
No,
precious
no,
trees.
they're
No,
not.
Right.
no.
They're-
Yeah, these are ornamentally planted in the front of the yard, look nice.
So to
Tell
make
the
sure,
homeowners they can plant new trees.
it's relatively short money, even if we want to be the nice person and plant new trees.
You got the
That's
pictures
fine,
right there,
but-
Charlie?
Sort of, it's,
Yeah.
it's not a great picture from,
Yeah. Yeah. But take it right out there, and then we'll discuss it at the next meeting at length. And,
Yeah.
that'll be great.
Well, it sounds like cut and replace is the most obvious.
Yeah.
solution.
or if they wanna have somebody, I mean, you could, you don't have to move far to get them out of the right of way, you would, they could have somebody
What I wanna know is,
excavate those and move them.
What is the DBH?
I actually measured using the tool that we had from the
Yeah.
WPI students. They're mostly around 8 inches.
That's pushing the limit for what we can do around here. So there's a guy with a 90-inch spade
Yeah.
could possibly move. it.
Yeah, it's doable, but there are little wires, I mean,
Or you have to bear room.
I can look it up, but I there were some that were a little bit larger. My concern was that whether right or wrong, whether they should have been planted there.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't
The
have.
fact of the matter is, if we remove too many trees, or a certain number of trees that are 14-inch DBH or higher, then it triggers NEPA permitting and a whole bunch of like just hoops we gotta jump through. So I wanted to get a measurement on them just to understand what are the implications or ramifications of us removing the trees. And there's not enough to trigger pretty extensive and expensive
Yeah.
permitting.
Yeah.
So that made me feel better.
So they're about 8 inches.
I can find out.
I'd like to
I
know
will.
how the bike path is gonna go through that cut, you know, the Seabees, I believe, built that road for the Navy base. And there's a major cut, between, Lions Lane and Parsons Lane.
Yep.
How's the bike path gonna go through there?
So it'll be essentially.
'Cause that thing comes
Yeah.
right to the roads.
Right, so if you look at the utility poles on that road.
Yep.
The bike path will be immediately behind them. And it will be essentially flat, right? It'll have like 2% pitch on it. Pitching
Above, so it's
pitching towards the road, the asphalt itself, that
Oh,
you would
yeah.
bike on. And then we do need to cut into the slope and regrade, so what that does is it keeps the bike path almost entirely out of private property.
Yeah.
And we need to take temporary easements to regrade
It's
and
gonna
then
be a pretty
just, and then
steep
just
slope.
see it.
That's gonna be a 1-on-2 slope.
Well, I mean, we have the ability to just go back further, but you gotta take a bigger temporary easement, clear more vegetation, it's more impactful on the property owner, so we're trying to balance that.
Yeah,
to
I
be as
understand.
minimally invasive as possible. So there's actually a spot on Pulpus, if you're heading east, just after the Life Saving Museum,
Yeah.
you go up
Oh,
the
yeah,
hill,
right, yeah.
and on the right,
Yeah,
there's
that
this is
was
a very
a
similar
major cut,
situation
yeah,
where
yeah, that's
bike
true.
path is in,
Yeah.
and then you can see where they
Yeah,
had
yeah,
heading
yeah.
right on the backside.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit tricky in there to match those elevations.
Yeah.
But the other option was, get real creative and not bike paths all private property. So for right,
I like it.
for obvious reasons, people didn't want to do that.
Move a couple pools.
Yeah, so actually, this is better.
Of course, now with everybody using electric bikes, the grade might be less of an issue.
Yeah, true.
Electric bike, I had a kid just about nail me
So
today.
you can kind of see how
It's crazy.
so it comes
You
up.
can't
and then
hear
bike
them.
path,
They
and
don't
then
give you heads
slopes
up.
up. It's gonna look similar to that.
Yep,
So it looks similar.
yeah,
to this.
yep, yep.
So that's looking back towards the Life Saving Museum. That's it.
Okay,
It's a good one.
all right. I think that's it.
I've got a couple odds and ends.
Go ahead.
I think it's a maple of some sort, corner of Plum and Fair Street. Awful lot of dead wood in it. I assume it's on property. I think it's on the corner there. I should have taken a picture of it. But about 3/4 of it is just dead.
That's not my tree on Plum Street.
That's,
Right.
yeah, that was planted by the,
It's
originally,
something everybody should be
Yeah.
aware of,
Yeah.
take a look at.
yeah, Plum and Fair,
So, I
definitely, that
spoke
was,
to-
definitely, that was planted by the homeowner.
Maybe
It's
about
gonna be a
this.
hazard going
Property.
forward.
Yeah.
And then down, in front of Max Berry's, I think it's a honey locust, and it's not a big deal, but there are a bunch of wisps that are hanging down pretty low to the road there.
Whereabouts is this?
This is down on Brant Point on the left, just before last house.
That's
Down on
what
the
they were,
left, just before you get to the, Brant Point.
he was saying, it's all private, and
Yeah.
they're over.
But it is
So-
hanging down pretty low on the street. and I'm just
Oh, no,
wondering-
I know what you're talking
Those
about.
aren't town trees.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I know, but
Oh,
it's just.
there's a fair amount on the other side of the street that we're planning on converting as much of traffic.
That's close to the other side.
So on the other side of the street, yeah, there's a couple elms, couple linden planes, couple lindens. And so we're planning on getting down there anyway, and,
I didn't know there
something
was
that we
town
can-
trees down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing on the map.
All right.
This is stuff that,
Let's put
we
that
tag
down.
after the
Tag it.
interns left.
Why did you look at the map?
Because I'm compared to the Joe.
But he's probably got irrigation down there that Joe
Yeah.
probably did really well.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking maybe a
Oh,
tree can run into that, just pull a whole big
Mhm.
branch down or something.
Yeah, so I mean, that goes into a lot of things that we look at too, whether, if it's a private tree and it's within the actual roadway, that's something like, if it's something small and minuscule, we can do it, but if it's gonna be
Just take
more
a
major,
pole
or
saw and just-
so like something that we've noticed as far as encroachment goes is 27 Shell Street in Wisconsin. When you're coming out, when you're heading towards Sankey Road out of the town, I guess.
Yep.
Wisconsin, there are some London planes on the right side of the road that are 7 feet tall. Like
To go right over the hedges
they're
there.
going over the privet and they're hanging to the point where like even an SUV is hitting them. So in an instance like that where it needs a larger prune, we have to get it to the encroachment department, and then they will send a letter saying, hey, you guys need to either prune this, or we're gonna have to do it. because
Yeah,
it's public
they're
safety.
private trees.
They are private trees. So we have a very small amount of leeway, but not much when it comes to private trees.
Yep.
It mainly is when they're in the roadway inhibiting traffic typically.
That makes sense.
And speaking of the buffer, I drive Pulpus Road fairly frequently, and every year there's less and less scrub. And I don't know if it's Conservation Foundation or which of the numerous conservation groups, but, all of the bayberry and all of sort of native stuff, just between the weed whackers and whatever, guys may be trying to stay busy. It's looking like scorched earth. And then, when it all gets mowed low and then we have a drought, it's just,
You know what's happening too, that I noticed, the deer are eating all that stuff right now.
The deer are-
They're mowing it. They do it at my house, and I live off, right off Shima there, and they're destroying our whole perimeter. Now, we can see the neighbors now. They're destroying everything.
yeah.
They're eating everything.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I think we're just a lot of things that have gone on this year are I will attribute to drought style conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of early fall color this year.
Yeah, I'm already seeing it over at your soccer fields.
Yep.
Some of those trees that have been established for a long time that aren't getting any overspray irrigation from the soccer fields are already looking like they're starting to get ready to drop.
I mean, I'm curious.
I'm glad you brought that up, because Dale and I were driving back from the award ceremony, and I was driving down Old South Road, and we went by Krashulik's.
Yeah.
And the trees are looking good in there.
Yeah.
Now, if we heard any more about,
No, I need to follow up.
okay, let's,
Jeff didn't make the meeting.
Yeah.
So, and we need to follow up, find out, when we can get in there and pull, but they didn't go separate the trees, looks like they are water.
it does look like they're water, because they look pretty good.
Yeah, so I wanna talk to,
Yeah.
I gotta reach out to him.
When I went to go look
I
at.
have to hop
so-
off for another meeting. Sorry, I have to go,
Oh.
but
Okay,
good to see you all.
thanks, Emily.
Thanks, Emily.
So that-
See you next time.
We lose our
Okay.
quorum if she leaves, so.
Hmm?
We need to adjourn because we lose our quorum. if she
Okay,
leaves.
all right, then let's,
Adjourn?
okay,
Yeah.
let's adjourn. Or do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, see you all next time.
Then speaking of